Next one is from, okay, my brother just screamed. Oh, I turned my light off. Oh, hey, what's up? First of all, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I just started YouTube and, well, not just started. Technically, if you look at my page, I started in 2013, but that just meant I made my account. Anyway, no one asked about that. Anyway, thank you so much for 1,000 subs. That's really cool. I just started posting like this year and just kind of started getting more into it as of recently these past few months. So hitting 1,000 is a pretty cool landmark. And even though it's a small number, I'm still really happy about it. So thank you to everyone for subscribing. If you came from my Instagram or from my YouTube, this is YouTube. If you came from my Instagram or my TikTok or even my Twitter, definitely let me know because that means you're a certified homie. Or if you're on the other apps and you came from the YouTube, you're an actual certified homie. Either way, I asked around to see what you guys wanted to see for 1,000 video special, and I got a lot of answers that said Q&A. And I have a lot of questions in front of me. So, without further ado, and the hat that doesn't fit, but I'm going to wear it because it looks cool. And there's a sunflower on it. Do you see? Not even in my mic. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get into some of these questions. First question we have is from A Taylor 57. Favorite musical artist, and did you learn to draw, and have you always been I'm sorry, I can't read with the mask on. Your favorite musical artist, and did you learn to draw, or have you always been talented? Well, thank you. First off, my favorite musical artist of all time is Kennedy. I've played Kennedy a lot, and I've talked about him a lot. If you ever tune into my live streams on TikTok, I'm always playing Kennedy, and I'm always rapping to Kennedy, because he's like my favorite artist of all time. If you haven't seen him, definitely check him out because he's super cool and super real. And the second question you asked is, have you always been talented or how did you learn to draw? That's kind of a hard question to answer. I feel as though any person who likes to draw always had some sort of creative ambition or creative talent that they just pursued. And the more you pursue it and the more you go for it, the more skill you kind of pick up along the way. Same thing with just about any talent. If you're a chef and you like cooking, you can just pick up more skills along the way, you know? So kind of both, but it's just something I love to do. Next question is from Spartan in 3. I can't read with this mask on. From Spartan. Have you ever planned on doing a Batman Beyond cosplay? That is oddly specific, but yes, I have. Batman is a character that I've wanted to cosplay for a while, but as all of you know, I don't show my face. So I had to pick one that I was it didn't show his face, and Batman shows like the bottom part of his face. So Batman Beyond was obviously the first choice. If I were to do a Batman Beyond, it would probably be my own design and reminiscent of the Arkham Knight design, because that one's super cool. But I would want to make it kind of my own thing and my own design a little bit. But that's way down the line. I'm broke as it is and can barely afford my cosplays. So it's not on my current list, but it's on the list. Next one is from one of my mutuals, JLo Art. What has been your favorite type of video to make? Well, in terms of TikTok, my favorite kinds of videos to make are kind of videos I don't get to make anymore, which are the old ones, like the old transition videos or the old like cosplay videos I used to do. Unfortunately, it's a lot harder to make those, and I can't really make them anymore because they don't do as well. That's just the sad reality of it. I wish I could make those, but they've kind of fallen off a little bit. And I still make them today, and I still do them a little bit. It's just a lot harder to make videos like that, especially when I'm doing everything and have the payoff be nothing. So unfortunately, that's kind of the sad reality of that one. But in terms of YouTube, my favorite videos to make, I don't quite know. I'm kind of just bouncing around with my content now, kind of seeing what I like. Sometimes I'll do video essays, sometimes I'll do in front of the camera stuff like this, or sometimes I'll do like props and cosplay tips. I kind of just like expanding whatever I can do. So I don't think I have a favorite type of video to make because I just like making things. I like making videos. If you guys have a favorite, I'm gonna make that. Next one is from, okay, my brother just screamed. Oh, I turned my light off. Shut up! My bad. I like kicked the wall and I like clipped the wire and totally, oh shit, and totally just like turned my light off. Alright, next one is from Annabug. Are you in high school or college? I am currently in my last year of college. I have one semester left after this one. So I have 2 semesters left, but I'm at like the back end of my first semester. So I'm currently a senior in college. Ewan Grant asks, how long have you been a Star Wars nerd? No offense. Absolutely no offense taken. That is really bright. Absolutely no offense taken. I am more than proud to be a Star Wars nerd and more than proud to admit that. In terms of how long I've been a Star Wars nerd, probably my entire life. I was introduced to Star Wars when I was an infant and have watched it ever since and have grown to love it and appreciate it my entire life. So, probably ever since I was born, I've been a Star Wars fan. Can't throw up in the mask. Michael asks, my favorite YouTube video that I've made. I think my favorite YouTube video that I've made is the one I'm currently editing now, which is my #1 Darth Vader moment of all time. I made a top 5 Darth Vader moments, and that one was really fun to make, and I did a part 2, which is the part... I can't talk. And I did a part 2, which is the one I'm editing now, which is the top spot, the #1 Darth Vader moment. I'm almost done editing it, and so far I think it's my favorite video I've ever made. On top of that, I think I would have to say my Battlefront 2015 retrospective, which is, I think, the most professional video I've ever made. I don't know if that will be posted before this video, or if I'll be able to edit this video and that'll be posted after, but either way, those are the two. My mutual Chloe, or Lightsaber Queen, asks, what is the supreme snack food? Now, that's the question. Listen up. This is not an opinion, this is not a judgment, this is not a superstition, and this is not up for debate. This is merely a fact, a matter. This is not subjective in any way. The most superior snack food of all time. It is hysterical to think that any snack food can come even close to what this has. It is ungodly to me to feel as though any other snack food compares to this. The snack that smiles back. Goldfish. It's fucking goldfish, dude. I swear to God, if anybody buys me goldfish, like, don't even, dude, I have a Ko-Fi. If anyone ever sends me money, don't do that, by the way. Don't send me money. If anyone ever buys things off, like, my Amazon wish list, don't do that. Just send me goldfish, because, like, oh my... Wait, I think I have a Twizzler, too. I do have a Twizzler. That was off topic. But goldfish fucking smack. Not like the weird ones. Like, the pizza ones are kind of okay. The ranch ones are eh. The, like, supreme cheddar, sort of, but they're kind of dusty. The all-time best ones are the sharp cheddar, baby. And the rainbow ones, ooh! That was a weird noise. I like goldfish, okay? Geeks of Gaming asks, do you have any new types of videos that you want to do now that you've reached 1K? No. Unfortunately, 1K isn't really a big enough number for me to completely change my content up. I'm still exploring, and I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to do. But I think it's an opportunity to see what more people want to see from me. So it's not just what I want to make, it's what people want me to make, or what people enjoy watching, and I kind of go off of the views. Whatever people watch more, I make more of that, because people like that stuff more. I want to make my videos for you, and make the videos I want to make. So, I don't think 1K is going to change the videos I make, and it's not really going to open any doors for me yet, but maybe a bigger number will in the future. Regardless of that, I'm still very grateful for where we're at. Mason asks, can you buy me a Spider-Man suit? Bro, can you buy me one? I've been wearing the same, 3 suits for, 5 years. I have not had a new Spider-Man suit in a hot minute. If I had the money to buy everybody a lightsaber or a Spider-Man suit, I totally would. If I was Elon Musk levels, I would buy everybody a lightsaber or a Spider-Man suit. But I'm not at that level. I can barely afford to eat breakfast every morning. My bank account cries when I get, a vitamin water and a protein bar at the 7-Eleven across the street from my school. Every morning, my bank account's like, dog, we can't be doing it. Why am I talking about my money problems? That's a really Spider-Man thing for me to do. Anyway, Charlotte asks, are you still in school? Yes, I am a senior in college, as I just said. Is Ezzo taller than Miles? Have you guys ever seen Despicable Me? I'm not going to say anything, but it's a pretty good comparison. Geeks of Gaming again asks, I know you don't really play video games, but would you be willing to play them in the future? Well, it's not that I don't play video games, because I do love video games. It's just I don't have time to play them. I'm really busy with all the stuff I do, and I unfortunately don't have time to be dropping on 2 or 3 hours on a game. If I do have time and I'm completely burnt out and I have nothing to do, I'm going to play a game. I don't really have the time to play. The last time I played a game was honestly with Ezzo on her birthday in October. We just played Fortnite for the night because I told her I would. But yeah. Would I ever consider playing them in the future? Well, yeah, I love playing them. Some of my favorite games are Call of Duty Zombies. Dude, I love zombies. Halo is a cool game to play. Battlefront, I will 1v1 anybody in Battlefront and smoke you. No cap. I look bald without that one. I will smoke anybody in Battlefront or Battlefront 2. I don't care which one. And what was your main motivation for content creation? That's actually very simple. My main motivation for content creation was 2 people. The first of which being Jack Kennedy, or Lonely Mailbox, who is my favorite musical artist. He was a huge inspiration to me. I've kind of grew up with him. I followed him ever since he started making content, and I'm a huge fan of his. I love Jack. I even had the honor of doing a collaboration, or not really a collaboration, but more or less a client-based work for him. He hired me to make a custom pair of shoes for him. So that was really cool. And working like that with something like with one of your idols is super cool. And my biggest motivator of all time, and the person who really inspired me to do what I do, is a man called Cosplay Chris, who, that's a really fun story of how I met Chris. I might go over it in a later date, but it's kind of a rapid fire now. I've been supporting Chris ever since he started making videos, and I picked up on his videos along the way, kept watching all of his stuff, and eventually got into contact with him. He actually found me on Instagram, which was super cool, by the way, because it was like the first cosplay I posted. I'm kind of going off into a tangent here, so I apologize. But it was the first cosplay I ever posted, my custom Spider-Man, and he found it, and he linked me to, like, I had sent him fan mail, and he's like, oh, this is the same guy, and he followed me. And that was a really geeked out moment for me. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, I was freaking out when Chris followed me. Since then, we've stayed in contact, and we're really good friends to this point. We've helped each other out, sent each other links, vendors, helped each other out with tips, tricks, all this stuff. And it's really cool. And he's always been, like, my biggest motivator, and still to this day is my biggest motivator for what I do. If you ever see his content and my content looks similar or reminiscent, or you see similarities, that's not by accident, but it's not on purpose. It's just I watched his videos for so long that he inspires me, and he definitely has had an impact on who I am and the type of stuff I make. So, Chris, if you're watching this, love you, man. How long have you been drawing? Asks Geeks Gaming one more time. Well, again, I've been drawing my entire life. Ever since I had the motor skills to pick up a pencil, I've been using that pencil. And just ever since that, I've just continuously drew. I did it as a hobby, and it turned from a hobby to a passion, and now to hopefully a career. So yeah, my whole life. Robin asks, opinion on the duck song. I'm not answering that question. If you go to my live stream, you'll know what I'm talking about. Alpha Wolf, how did you start cosplaying? I kind of went into that when I mentioned Chris. But it goes a little bit farther back from when I met Chris. Chris was obviously my inspiration to start going hard cosplaying and really committing to this content creation. But how I started cosplaying was, I just always have done it. As a kid, I always liked making costumes for Halloween. My mom made a lot of my costumes as a kid, and the older I grew up, the more I wanted to make the pieces myself, and the more I wanted to do myself, until I finally just kind of branched off and started doing my own thing, and it turned into a passion. Again, like drawing, turned from a hobby into a passion, and a passion into now career-based stuff. So it's really cool. But yeah, all of that combined, it's just progression, I guess. S.OPH.18, great name. What is the main advice you would give for people just starting to draw? That is a good one. I think I should make a total, like, new video, a different video itself on, like, how to get started. But if I had to give you one tip on getting into drawing and just starting, I would say my biggest tip, this is gonna sound stupid, my biggest tip is just start. Just start drawing, you know? It sounds stupid, but stop procrastinating and stop finding excuses to not do it. Just go do it. If you don't think that you can do it, go do it. And one of two things will happen. You'll either prove yourself right or wrong. Either way, it's a win because you can keep moving. If you don't think you can do something, try it. Maybe you can do it. And if you can't, well, now you know, and you can work towards doing it more. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to make a bigger video about that, but I think the biggest thing I could tell you is just start. Just start somewhere and you'll find your way. A few more from the Instagram, and then we'll move over to the TikTok ones. Ewan Grant asks, what started your Star Wars obsession? Your Star Wars obsession? Like I said, I've been watching it my entire life. My dad is a huge Star Wars nerd. All of my friends were Star Wars nerds, but I think I was always the biggest Star Wars nerd, and my family all knew this. Like, whenever Christmas time came around, they all knew that when it was Christmas, what would you get for Miles? Something Star Wars. Like, he was the Star Wars guy. Or now the Spider-Man guy, too. But I don't think anything started my Star Wars obsession. I think it was just, I was always obsessed with Star Wars. Since I could walk, I was obsessed with it. I have no clue what started it, but I'm so glad I got to this point because I love Star Wars. Everyone loves Star Wars. Solve the equation 4x plus 2 equals 26. Is that a fucking challenge? 6. X equals 6. Did I get it right? I'm going to say X equals 6. I just did it in my head. I can't do algebra. I'm going to guess it's 6. My mutual Isa asks, when was the moment that you fell in love with the character Spider-Man? That's a good one, because I don't, like I said, it's kind of like with Star Wars 2. There was never really a moment that I became obsessed with it. I was just always obsessed with Spider-Man. There was a moment where Spider-Man became more than just a hero to me, and he became like so much more, to the point where a lot of my life is dedicated to Spider-Man. A lot of people know me as just the Spider-Man dude, or he's Spider-Man. I think the moment I fell in love with the character Spider-Man, dude, I don't know. I don't think there was just a definitive moment that I fell in love with Spider-Man. I think it was just a culmination of moments my entire life. And then, actually, no. The moment I fell in love with Spider-Man was when I first put my first cosplay mask on. Not this one. When I put my first mask on and I tried it on, and I was building that suit, I think that was the moment when I was like, yeah, this is it. And not only became like in love with cosplay, but in love with Spider-Man. And that drove a lot of what I do. Those were all the questions from my Instagram, but I got a few over from TikTok real quick too. Cardboard Productions asks, which Iron Man is your favorite? I'm assuming you mean which Iron Man suit is my favorite. And if that's the case, it's a tie between the Heartbreaker armor and the Mark V armor that he uses on the racetrack. Those are both super underrated armors, and no one ever talks about them. Those are both really cool, but if I had to pick like my overall favorite and the one that I would personally wear, it's gotta be the Mark III. Dude, the Mark III is just so beautiful. So, yeah, I think those are my top 3. The Heartbreaker, Mark V, and all-time favorite is the Mark III. Cardboard Productions again asks, who's your favorite Batman? Well, that's a question. In terms of all-time favorite Batmans, like iterations and all, I have to pick the Arkham Batman. Arkham Batman is the definitive version to me of what Batman is. If you've never played the Arkham games, he is the perfect Batman to me. Kevin Conroy, God rest his soul, rest in peace. Kevin Conroy is Batman, and that iteration, that story of Batman is picture perfect to me, and I love every bit of it. I played the Arkham games a lot as a kid. God, I love that Batman so much. But in terms of actors of live action, hot take here, but I genuinely would say Robert Pattinson is my favorite Batman. And I don't say that to be new, I don't say it to be woke, I say it because walking out of the theater of that Batman movie was like, yo, he's Batman. Like, the other guys, I always just, like, I saw an actor on screen portraying Batman. Even Ben Affleck, who was, like, the closest one at that point, I always just saw an actor playing Batman. But when I came out of The Batman, I was like, that's Batman. Like, and not to mention, that is my favorite Batman story we've seen in live action, too. So, yeah, I would definitely have to say Pattinson is my favorite as of now. Come at me if you want. I'll take it. Angel asks, which fictional universe would you go to if there was a one-way trip? That is a beyond easy answer. Star Wars. The only other option that I would even consider would probably be either Tron or How to Train Your Dragon. But the reason I'm not picking those is because Tron, I would definitely get tired of the way that world looks. It's never daytime during Tron. It always looks at night. I would get tired of the neon at some point, and it would be cool to go there for like a weekend, but not my entire life. And How to Train Your Dragon, it's just kind of the Viking era, which I'm not a huge fan of. The only upside would be dragons. Star Wars has both of those things. And if it was a one-way trip, I would 100% pick Star Wars. It has the largest universe ever. And people tend to think that, like, think about it this way. If I'm going to the Star Wars universe, there's no guarantee I'm going to be a Jedi or a Sith. I'm just going as a citizen. I can be whatever I want in the Star Wars universe. I could be a normal citizen just living. I could enlist in the Empire. I could enlist in the Rebellion. I could be a bounty hunter. I have the possibilities to do that stuff. And Star Wars is the universe I would want to do that in. And if you were to say, like, oh, but what about the Marvel Cinematic Universe? That's, yeah, obviously it's fictional, but it's just a fictional version of our real world. And I would just be a normal citizen. Like, going into these universes doesn't guarantee you're going to be someone of importance. It just guarantees you're going to be in that universe. And Star Wars is the only one where you can be a normal citizen and still do something cool. You know what I mean? So yeah, the Star Wars universe is the winner for me. Questionable Content, what a name, asks, what is your opinion on chocolate milk? When the world was created, 2 things were sent to mankind to save them. And those 2 things were Rick Astley and chocolate milk. God, I love chocolate milk. Dude, it's so good. Who doesn't like chocolate milk? My God. But I don't like the powder shit. I like when you put the, you know, that was a good sound effect. The Hershey's thing and you mix it up, that's good chocolate milk. The powder shit is like weird. I feel like I'm making some weird, you know, some spice. Chocolate milk is S tier. We like that. Boba Fettuccine asks, both Return of the Jedi and Empire are the best Star Wars movies, in my opinion. That's not even a question. That's just a statement. But to that end, I say you can't have two best Star Wars movies. Like, can you? I don't know. I'm going to turn that into a question. What's my favorite Star Wars movie? And it's Return of the Jedi. All right, last batch. Count Balter asks, Iron Man or Captain America? This is a really tough one. So, in terms of Civil War, what side would I be on? I would pick Captain America. I would not want the Sokovia Accords to be a thing. I would fight for the individual freedom of superheroes. I'd be on Cap's side. However, in terms of characters, I don't know if I can pick, because every time I watch Captain America's trilogy, I'm like, oh my god, I love Steve Rogers so much. Whenever I watch Iron Man's movies, I'm like, dude, Iron Man's so cool. I don't think I could pick between the two in terms of characters. They both have amazing character arcs and character journeys, and it's so cool to watch them. So, if I had to pick a side in Civil War, it would be Cap, of course, but I don't think I could pick between the characters, because they both had such beautiful stories and send-offs. I love them both. I'm too much of an optimist to have to choose between things like this. Gray asks, if you could meet one Spider-Man, not the actors, who would you meet? If I could meet one Spider-Man, not the actors, who would I meet? I think I would want to meet Peter B. Parker from the Spider-Verse. That'd be kind of fun. I feel like he'd be really funny. Miles would be pretty fun to meet. Spider-Ham would be really fun to meet. I don't know, man. Honestly, if I could meet any of them, it would be just a dub in my book. If I could meet any Spider-Person. If I met Gwen, I don't think I'd be able to behave myself. If I met any version of Gwen, I would not be able to behave myself. I'd be done. Like...
Hey, guys.
Here I am, here I am, here I am. I know I said I wouldn't, but I fell in love again.
Straight simp. Milena asks, if you weren't doing YouTube or TikTok, what would you be doing? That's here's the thing. If I wasn't doing YouTube or TikTok, what would I be doing? I would be doing the exact same thing. I just wouldn't be posting it. So I think the reason I do all of this stuff is because this is stuff that I would do on my own. Cosplay is something that I would do normally. Going to cons, going out dressing up, drawing, making illustrations, doing this stuff. This is stuff that I would do normally in my own time, and it's stuff that I did before I started content creation. So I think I'd still be doing that stuff if I wasn't posting it. But in terms of your question, I think you're referring to if I didn't do all of this stuff, what would I be doing? Well, let's hope we never have to figure that out. Ronan asks, what is your favorite country or holiday you've ever been on? Never been out of the country, but I'm assuming you mean what's my favorite trip I've been on, and that's 100% no doubt my trip to San Diego this summer. That was honestly the coolest moment of my life. I love going to California. It's my favorite place to be, and I would go there again in a heartbeat. Cardboard again asks, I was watching you live a couple days ago, and you had great advice for relationships, so I was wondering if you asked someone to dance. If I've ever asked someone to dance? Well, yeah, I've asked people to dance before. I've asked people to a dance before, and I've asked people on dates before. I don't know what the question is, though. If that's the question, then yes, I've done all that stuff. I like dancing. Spider Nerd asks, tips for how to do a backflip. I haven't done a backflip in a while, and I probably can't do one now, but I could probably do one. It would just take me a minute. My tips for a backflip, in terms of a physical tip, jump high, tuck your knees, and throw your arms back as hard as you can, and make sure your knees go all the way over. It's very important to make sure you throw your upper body as far back as you can, and make sure that your knees are tucked so that you can kind of catch that, and land together. Make sure your feet are together so that you're jumping off and landing in a unison point. But in terms of the mental tip, that's the hardest one. Because if you can physically do it, that's fine. A mental tip, just commit. Like, the longer you take to commit, the longer it'll take. The second you commit, you'll get it. If you need to start building up your confidence, do it in a trampoline, do it with pillows, a mattress, a bouncy ball, do it on something that's not just flat ground. But I think committing is the biggest tip I can give you. Trashboat asks, what do you like more, Spider-Man 2099 or Kane's Scarlet Spider? I like the design of the 2099 more. And I like the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider more. So I think in terms of those two choices, I'm going to pick 2099. But I like Kane. Kane is pretty cool. Solve the equation. 4x plus 2 equals 26. Did you leave that on both apps? Not cool. I already answered it, and it's 6. And the last question we have. What is your favorite color, Miles? What is my favorite color? That's the question. This is going to be weird. My favorite color is like green. but not like actual green. It's like green blue, like cyan. It's like a mix between the two. It's a stupid color, but I like it the most. If you go on Ultra Sabers, it's the color titled Sunrider's Destiny. But in terms of like what I'm gonna wear, my favorite color combo to wear is black and red. So that's it. And that was all the questions that you guys left for the 1K video. So thank you so much for those questions, and I had a lot of fun answering them. If you want to ask more questions like this and me to do another future video, I think I'm going to do another one at 2K. So 2,000 subscribers and I'll probably do another video like this. In terms of that, depending on when I'm posting this video, this will either be posted before the Battlefront video. So if you see this before, make sure to check out the Battlefront video. If you see this after and it's posted after, make sure to check out the Battlefront video that was already posted on my page, because like I said, I worked really hard on that video, and it's really professional, so I'm really proud of it, and I would love for people to see it. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for subscribing. Make sure to follow my Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, and that's it. Peace!